Hi guys, welcome to Nervous Critic Review. Today we're going to review A Worthy Opponent by Katie Robert. What was I saying? Oh.
Cheers.
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 Here we go. Highly caffeinated. And slightly deranged.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
haven't seen Beauty before Tinkerbell.
You're like, I don't know who any of these characters are.
I've heard of these things and I've seen images, but at least I think I know what Captain Hook looks like. And Gaston is a beast.
No, Gaston is Gaston, but Beast.
Who's Gaston? Who is he in the Beauty and the Beast?
Oh, he's just one of the suitors that Belle doesn't want to be with. In reality, Gaston is an absolute jerk
Okay.
who can't stand women reading, and he just
Okay.
wants a housewife.
Oh wow.
He has like 3 girls who are all blonde, and they're called the Babettes.
Oh, cute.
And they are just infatuated with him. They're like in love with him. They follow him around and they swoon at everything that he does.
Sorry, I didn't know. I
Just going through all the Disney
all of
lore.
Disney lore. Yeah. Do you like this book?
I do, but I don't. Like,
Okay.
it's very confusing. I love myself a nice, spicy book. But not saying that BookTok is always wrong, but the 2 recommendations that I've gotten from BookTok so far have just been wrong.
Yeah.
And it makes you just a little bit uncomfortable. Did you like it?
So, I'm gonna say I didn't love it. There were just a few parts that I liked, but I can't say I liked the whole book. Well, also, I haven't read the whole book. Yeah, I think I can't commit to saying I like it. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
And I don't know why I feel like I'm hurting you. What's she like?
She's not only did she write like this entire series of the Wicked Villains, which it goes all the way to the Sea Witch, and then it does the Disney shorts. You were reading that she's
best-selling
a
author.
best-selling author.
I can tell.
She has a few books kind of like in this same realm. She did one about Greek mythology, so like Hades, Persephone, like Ares and stuff like that. That's an entire series. I don't think that she did one about wolves yet. I know this is a weird comparison, but if you're going to do smut like this, I'm assuming that you've already written about wolves, like wolfmen.
This is my first smut book.
Yeah.
I will say the only sex scene that was like the most neck jerking when Gaetan lost someone close to him.
Oh, yeah.
Pink and Hook went from "Are you okay?" instantly into "Get on the bed."
Man, I just want some peace for a little while, and it's like, so your peace is fucking?
Yeah.
Don't you think that maybe you should, I don't know, take like a bubble bath?
Or just
Or
talk
go
to
to
a
sleep?
therapist.
Yeah,
like,
the therapist would be nice
I
too.
want-
But you were just talking about how every time that the sex was brought up, it was like a screeching halt to like the rest of the story.
Yeah.
And you were talking about, you had mentioned that with the way that they wrote the Man in Black's death, you thought that Peter had done it.
Him.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I thought for sure that entire scene changed. I'm like, okay, finally, we're about to get into the story. We're about to have this big brawl that's going to happen between them and Peter. And then, hey, okay, so for sure, we're about to fight this dude now, right? And then the Man in Black dies, and they make you think that Peter killed the Man in Black. Because that would make sense instead of just making him die from old age. Like, it's just
They were
like,
like, look at this old ass man.
yeah, it's just like, so by the way,
This old ass man.
has nothing to do with our plot, has nothing to do with our climax.
This
But
old.
we have to have some reason why they're going to have sex. So we're going to kill this old man, and that way we can push them into a 3-way.
Like, I don't imagine like clean cut Peter with like the bright red hair and like the little cap and whatever. Doesn't have his life together at all, and all he wants to do is
So
kill
like
him.
me. Oh, just kidding. Okay.
But I did want to say that in the entire book, and this is also like not taking anything else about the first 2 books where they probably talk about her relationship with Peter and stuff like that, and how he's probably way worse than what was mentioned in this book. These are the 3 pages of interaction that she has with Peter.
Are you serious? Wait, no.
These are 3 pages. The full interaction that she has with Peter in confrontation. But this is like full confrontation of like, yeah, I'm a bad bitch now, like, you can't scare me, like, you know, the regular old, you're not part of my life anymore, I am my own person, please let him go, I love him.
Wow, she said it then.
Yeah. These 3 pages.
Yeah.
And in these 3 pages, Jameson kills Peter.
Wow. How does he do it?
He shoots him. Tries to take the gun and be like, I'm gonna shoot him, and then Peter's like, you're not gonna do that. Like, I know you're not. Like, you're not ready. And so Jameson's like, fuck that! And so he just shoots.
Man, but that would have been cool if she like finally.
If she finally stood up, yeah. I know. That's why I was
This book is so anti-feminist.
I know.
It's so bad. Now I'm very pro-black, and I'll just say it that way. I'm not saying I don't like reading anything that's white.
I understand.
This was so white to me. I'm sorry. It was so. I was like rolling my eyes and cringing a lot, and
yeah, that's pretty white.
I don't know if I can say cock was said a lot.
I'm gonna put the rooster emoji over it when you say that.
But cock really just took me out every time. It made it so just like, and then like even when they would cuss in like a sexy way, it was bad.
It was cringe.
Like, when I was listening to the audiobook where that Gaetan scene at the end, Gaetan says, "Get your fine ass over here." I'm like, what? This is a white man. What's he talking about? There was only a few instances where I was just like, really like that. Okay.
As far as books go, this has to be one of my least favorites.
And you're a reader, so
I'm a pretty avid reader.
And
like,
writer.
as soon as I read somebody else's and what they thought was sexy, I was like, well, I don't know what's happening anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of this off-putting. But for all of that to be just built up, that Peter's going to take this entire territory by storm, he's going to fuck everything up, and then he dies in 3 pages. Within 3 pages, like, his death is a paragraph.
I feel like he was talked about more than
He was. Let's go through your notes really quick.
it was more just like reactions.
Okay, let's hear it.
I did talk about one of them. Cock is the first note. My second note was we did talk about this. She bounced from one abusive relationship to the next, one-sided and controlling.
They made Hook seem like the better of 2 evils, but then he's also still like
Not great to me, and that's just the feminist in me that was just like, oh, come on, why are you doing this? Stockholm.
yeah, it is like Stockholm syndrome.
Like they're making it seem like, oh wow, she's really falling in love with him. They really are a good pair because they're both toxic. But there's clearly a very different power dynamic here.
Oh, yeah.
Like my next one was, I thought I understood the concept of a brat until I read about Tink, because they never say the word brat, but what I've learned about the brat community in kinks, like in the kink community, is she comes across very much like a brat in the way that she talks to Hook. Always has to put up a fight.
Yeah.
But even though she but it got
Your brain's gonna explode.
it got annoying. Like I was explaining this to Zach. I was like, it makes me cringe how many times she'll be out loud. She'll be like, I don't even care. Like, you know what? You're ugly. I hate you. I hate you. And then in her head, she's like, oh, I can't wait to get on top of him. Annoyingly bratty was the note, two notes down. Makes me think of 365.
Yes.
And I haven't seen that movie, but
oh gosh, please don't watch it.
Yeah, I don't plan on watching it. 365 days, or is it
365 days, and then they made another one, and then they made the 3rd one, and there's supposed to be a 4th one that's supposed to come out.
Why?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
So I've seen people review that.
That is porn.
Yeah.
But that's porn on Netflix.
Legal porn.
Yeah.
Legal. Oh my god.
Legal.
Porn is legal. But, so it made me think of that because I know that that's supposed to be like a rich guy. Like
he's a rich mob boss.
And what's the whole thing? Well, how did he trick her? He
stole her. He stole a whole woman. And he's like, you have 365 days to fall in love with me.
Yes.
Which is way longer than Hook gave Tinkerbell. Tink.
Wow.
Do you know how long this entire book is supposed to take place?
Eric.
It's literally over the course of a week.
Okay, wow.
It's Sunday night, basically. Yeah. Hades tells her that she's got to pack up and leave.
No, what?
Sunday is also the day that Hook decides, hey, do you want to get married? Monday, she gets put out on her ass. right?
Yeah.
Monday is also the day that Peter shows up, tries to take her back.
Yeah.
And she shows up at Hook's residence being like, okay, fine, let's do it. A day. And he's like, all right, let's get married. That evening, they decide that they're going to go to the underworld for their honeymoon.
Oh my god, that's true.
Yes.
Wow.
And then the next day, she's trying to leave. It's been a day.
I guess I at least thought there was some time in between.
It seemed like there should have been more time. But in the book itself, she mentions that it's only been a week and she's already in love with him.
Oh my god. This is a direct quote. He's a survivor like me. This is Tink talking about Hook.
Mm-hmm.
He's a survivor like me. He'll fight to never feel hopeless. ... Suck me harder, Tink. That just...
I'm sorry, was that in the same span?
That was a whole paragraph where she's just like literally falling in love with him, and
as she's like, sucking his dick.
Yeah, and then he's like, suck me harder. I'm like, bro, this is every straight relationship.
She's like, he's so three-dimensional. Like, oh, I love him so much.
So deep, and he's like, for help.
Entertainment Weekly calls her writing unspeakably hot. Her books have sold over 1 million copies. She lives in the Pacific Northwest with her husband, children, a cat who thinks he's a dog, and 2 Great Danes.
That's beautiful.
That's so cute. Anyways,
well,
Roberts.
Yeah, this next note was just about the fact that I didn't know that there were other books. So I said I want to know more about the territory and its people. Like, how big is it? Why is it important? Are there more territories? And I guess maybe that will be answered if I read other books.
There is 7.
Okay.
Because the other one is Queen Takes Rose. So it's the Man in Black, and he owns like majority of the territory. And then I think it's Jafar. You've got Hades.
Kind of just, well, maybe that's a good thing.
Like, I would like to know, like, in the D&D aspect, I would like to know a lot more about the territories themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I know that Underworld has been described as kind of like an urban type thing, with like big cities and skyscrapers and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, but what's their main export?
No, that's a good question.
Yeah, right.
This is not a powerful place. No, it's like a powerful place.
And that's like the richest territory in all of the territories. So that makes me wonder, like,
well, there's like members though, so maybe the membership is what's making them rich.
But I don't think that that's something that can be imported and exported.
No.
I feel like Underworld, no, because Hook's territory, which was Peter's territory, was the one with like all the arms dealing and shit. And that was the illegal stuff. That was like all the drugs, arms dealing, and whatever. This was just about sex and money. Then what does the Man in Black do?
Yeah.
He just owns the most?
This is a direct quote. That's rich coming from you. And that one is in reference to also me saying earlier that this is just a very white book. Because, you know, have you seen the memes recently of people, why do white people have to steal our, like, phrases when they've got, and it's just like a long list of...
Prove the pooch on that.
Yeah, like,
you made
that's
your
a
bed.
fact, Jack. And,
You made your bed and have lie in it.
That's rich coming from you. Is a top tier white phrase. They were serious when they were saying this. So I just couldn't believe that. Oh, next note I said, did she want him to assault her with rope? I don't know what I meant by that. I just the assault in general felt like, I mean, not the assault, but like it felt like there was like we were nearing assault in the whole rope situation.
Felt very consensual, non-consent.
Yeah.
I think I got that too, with the way that she didn't like the ropes in the first place, and he was like, well, just think about it. Like,
yeah.
We'll just work towards that. Meanwhile, it's kind of like he's not even, instead of being like, okay, fine, like as a good dom, being like, okay, fine, we won't do that. He's like, just try it a little bit.
Yeah. And she even said, like...
And that's not a good dom.
Yeah, no. She said that it would take ages to get out of them, but then he just, like, cut them up. But I guess they were, like, expensive.
So, I think it was more so the fact of, like, I'd rather waste this money than make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But he put her in that place in the first place. Like, he made her uncomfortable in the first place.
I'm like,
you're like, I'm so confused. What is this
like such a better, like, grasp on all these characters, and, like, and I'm just like, bad writing.
You said, this guy sucks,
yeah,
that guy sucks.
Yeah, I hated him. Vibes were off. Vibes are
Remember
off.
mentioned that, oh my god, I can't stand this guy, and he just blew all his money. Weird flex, but okay.
Yeah. You were like, no, it's like showing how he's like risking it all for her, and you know he really cares about her, and I'm like, nah, he rich. My politics come out in everything. I'm just not realizing that. I talk about being pro-black, I talk about being feminist, and I'm anti-capitalist. This is not a good pick for me, if I'm being honest. Like, it's very white, rich, and anti-feminist or misogynist.
Yeah, it really does. It's like rooted in a lot of misogyny.
Maybe that makes it a good conversation
Because
for us
it-
to have. Okay, yeah. It says, what kind of sick fuck gets off on fighting all the time? And then I just put Hook asked Tink that.
During the argument agreeing
Yes.
thing, yeah.
And I was like, you know that like Morty, like when his lips
The
drop?
little wipe.
I was like, yeah. But I get it. I get the right. Okay. Judge me.
I'm not judging you. I'm just shaking my head at the same time of being like, yeah, I get it. Everybody's a little toxic.
It's just a little fun.
It's
just
fun,
it's
yeah,
a little fun.
I can see that.
Because you know when you're angry, your emotions are high, and then what do you mix like high emotions with? But horniness, huh?
It's a good- yeah.
Lock me up because I am guilty. That's another white phrase. Guilty as charged. They're very toxic.
They are. I was gonna say there's nothing redeemable about them, but at the same time, there's not. Like, even thinking now, as I finish this book, and I'm like, they're not redeemable as friends. Like, Tink has, like, she's lost all of her friends.
She's a bad friend.
But, yeah, she's a bad friend. She's bad at communication. She's obviously a brat. And then Hook, the entire marriage itself is an irredeemable quality. Being like, hey, I'm gonna basically keep you as a prisoner.
Yeah.
But you're also going to be bait for your
Bait.
ex-boyfriend.
Bait, and she's okay with that.
And she's okay with that. Up until the point that he isn't okay with it.
Imagine
And then
in
she's
the
still
real
okay with it.
world.
Oh my god.
You have an abusive ex-boyfriend, and you know
The police are using you as bait.
and they're like, not even the police, a bounty hunter. You know, a bounty hunter is like, I'm gonna become a criminal just like your abuser was, but I'm also gonna like be a better criminal. I'm gonna be a nicer criminal. I'm gonna use you as bait so that I could kill your abusive ex-boyfriend. Would you say, yeah, I'm down?
They took away the book.
Like
If they took away all of the Disney aspects for it, that's what this book is. If you added mob boss instead of Disney villain, that's exactly what it
the
is.
same thing.
Yeah.
Women are always the prize or like
An object.
the prey. Like we're just
Can't be independent. She can't have her own territory and be her own woman and
Literally.
decide to not choose either one of them. No, she has to end up with one.
exactly. I said all that and then quote, shit, we didn't use a condom. Girl, in all caps, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark.
Oh my god.
Now, I will say, I've heard men say that, like, when they watch porn, seeing a condom takes them out of it. And I was always like, whatever, dude. What are they supposed to do? You know, blah, 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 blah. But reading about a condom took me out of it every single time. And then they broke, like, all this fantasy, like, imaginative, like, you know, atmosphere by saying, yeah, I'm on birth control. Like, I don't know. It just felt very just, like, everything in this is so
Felt like very
fantasy.
everyday. Yeah.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's like condoms and birth control.
It's like you couldn't have brought it up like when Tink is still working at the underworld and she's like, I gotta go to the convenience store. And she goes to the convenience store and she decides that she needs to buy razors, a Plan B, and fucking whatever else that she needs.
Some Cheetos. Might as well throw Cheetos in
For
there,
real,
you know?
Cheetos, all of a sudden she needs pads because she's about to get her period, that kind of thing.
I really did. I wasn't down for that.
That's still weird.
They never mentioned condoms during the fivesome, did they?
No, not once. I guess that they just kind of didn't want anybody to think about, oh, she might be accidentally starting a family here.
Oh, God.
Rather than being like, oh, she might be actually starting a family with Hook.
The mention of kids happened a lot, like her wanting kids.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's admitted to herself many times and to other people that she thinks that, you know, she doesn't have her stuff together and that she just is kind of broken, and that's fine, and you know, good, be self-aware of that. But you want kids though? You want to bring kids into that situation? Like, I don't know. It's just like, it's just irresponsible.
It was odd because I don't know why my first thought process was when she was talking about children was, why would she want children? Like, why would she, if she hasn't healed herself, then why would she want to bring kids into the midst of her trying to heal herself now?
Yeah, her morals are just kind of weird and skewed because you want to play this like bratty game with this man. You also want to be a grown-up and have a kid. It seemed very random to throw in there. That seemed like a self-insert. I'm sorry, Katie. Now that I know you have a husband.
Yeah, and 2 kids at least.
It seemed like a self-insert. Because I'm just like, what does kids have to do with this? Sure, they love, everybody's a person. Obviously, I just didn't get it. She didn't explain why she wanted kids.
Yeah, she really didn't. It was more like, I just want an offspring to have an offspring. It wasn't really like, I'm ready for children. I think that I should have.
No, it just makes sense.
What?
She's already toxic. And what do toxic people do but fuck around and have kids?
Yeah,
when they know that they shouldn't.
Yeah, that is true.
They were like, life's not really working out, but you know what we should do? We should mess up some more lives.
It reminds me of that freaking comedian, Taylor Tomlinson or whatever. And she's like, that's how you know that you're a real adult, is when you're married and you look at your, like, husband or wife and being like, man, I'm lonely. Like, let's make some kids. Like, let's make some friends.
Bored.
And the first thing that y'all think of, instead of going to therapy.
Yeah. Never mentioned once.
It's like, maybe we should. How do you feel about kids? You want to have kids someday?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But let's like keep fucking around and, eventually find out. As far as starring the movie based off of this book, how would you star each character?
Ooh.
So like main character wise, Tink.
Have you already thought this out?
A little bit. I think I've already told you a couple of my like thought processes. I want to hear what you think.
Oh, that's so hard. As Ting, when you first like described her body type just now, automatically I thought of my girl. Why can't I think of her name? From Midsommar. Florence Pugh.
I was just thinking that same thing. I'm so honest with you. Like I was just thinking Florence.
Yeah.
Because she's blonde, curvy, and
small.
I'm sure that she's small. Like
no, she's very short.
Yeah.
As Hook.
Ew.
Alexander Skarsgård.
Really?
That just kind of fits to me.
I like that a lot, actually.
When I think of when he played Eric in
yes,
that's how like Hook comes across that to me.
Donald Gleason. That would be adult Peter.
So I don't know that guy for Peter.
You said Alexander Skarsgård as far as worthy opponent in the movie, and I had mentioned to you that I was thinking Avanjogia, just because he's described as like the tall, dark, and handsome.
Do you think he's tall?
I think he is. He's like 6'1".
Really?
6'1", I think. Hold on, let me look him up. Avanjogia.
For some reason, he gives me like 5'10".
He is 5'10".
Shut up. Gave him a lot of credit.
I did. I don't know. Maybe he's got like 6'2" vibes.
No, he's got BDE written all over him. I love. I can see. But if I see him next to Florence, I can definitely see that. But there's a darkness to him. Yeah, Alexander Skarsgård is as pale as it gets. Okay. There has to be somebody else out there that gives the vibe of both of those things. We just can't think of them.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll just split it down the middle. We'll cast Pedro Pascal.
Okay. Okay. You find any. Just split it down the middle. Good slide.
That's pretty good. Because you're like,
I was really listening intently. I'm like, ooh.
Is that him? Yes. What's his name?
Raul.
Last one. Guy Tom.
That's so hard.
I said Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill, like
no eyebrows.
What?
Oh, this guy. Okay. There's a really cute guy who was at the Golden Globes. I don't know his name at all, so I don't even know what I would type in. And I feel like Gaetan would give like power bottom energy. So if I ever find out who that is, I'll tell you. As you can see, very politics coming back out. I was like, we can't do all white cast. So I do want to know. Okay, I saw your tweet about how you were envisioning Tink. That's why I don't like reading. I can't see. I need a picture book. I need to know who I'm reading about.
The semblance right
what
now?
Do they look like? I can't empathize with them unless I know what they. I didn't expect her to be full bodied. I didn't, and not just that, but just like somebody who put on weight, but who wasn't always heavier. But even then, some people have a different perspective of what like chunky is. So I think she just was like a little average size, like
right, just like a little bit, like just a little bit curvier in the way that curves go.
Yeah,
but just extra in those places.
I don't know, the way that like described her as the most stunning creature in the world, kind of like I was like, okay,
I'm like, he's shooting a shot. She's thick and she likes fashion.
Yeah.
So I had imagined her what?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can never stop my face. She likes fashion.
Yeah.
And then the one time they described her outfit, I was like, what in the world are you talking about?
It's like described as 50s pinup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Betty Page with like the full like pompadour curl at the top.
Yes.
Bright red lips. And then like a cat eye. And like a freaking fake Marilyn Monroe mole at the top.
This is written by a millennial. I know for a fact. Not just a millennial, like young millennials. This is an older millennial.
Like rockabilly. Felt very rockabilly-esque. Like she seemed like if she went to a rockabilly concert, everybody would be complimenting her outfit. Was it my imagination or was one of her outfits described as having polka dots?
I wouldn't put it past this book. I don't remember.
Because I think I remember it's like supposed to be slim, like the slimming, so like the body contour, but there's frills at the end, and then polka dots on it. And that is full rockabilly Betty Page.
10 out of 10.
Even if Tinkerbell was like a real person, I would not expect Tinkerbell to dress like that.
No. So
like it was weird. Like it's weird. We were just discussing how we would describe Hook. Captain Hook.
So
Captain. He's just.
So I guess he's just a normal guy.
He's just a guy, but his last name is Hook. But even in the Disney movie, his name wasn't Hook until he lost his hand.
But annoying to other people, I would imagine. I would hate to be in a room with Tink and Hook.
Like they're more dislikable than the bad guy.
Yeah.
And the bad guy. The bad guy did some serious shit. He beat up a priest. Yet and still, I'm like, damn, Tinkerbell, you gotta shut up about Peter already.
I don't know. Like I said, there was just more hype about him than there was bite.
Out of the entire book, yeah.
Yeah, there was just like all of their interactions had to be them biting at each other all the time.
Like
and
fighting
him
dogs.
him being like, settle down, little lady, and then her being like, it seemed like he wanted them to have more depth than she did.
Yeah.
It seemed like he was always trying to be like, you know, we should talk about our feelings. We should really talk about this.
And that's probably the number one thing that I liked about Hook in the first
He wanted to be mature. I think these people are just addicted to sex, honestly.
I think so too. And again, shouldn't be parents.
Should not be parents. I can't even wrap my head around that. Imagine
no, I'd rather not.
Growing up in a sex dungeon. They act like some angsty teenagers who just literally are just young, dumb, and full of like, you know.
Those cringy memes with like, she was his queen and he her king.
Yeah.
That's what they gave off with a lot of Joker Harley Quinn vibes too. But they were still toxic as fuck. He's like Suicide Squad Joker being like, I have an idea. Would you like to read anything else from this series?
I would like to read something normal in between. I really dived into the deep end on this. This felt like a full entire journey, and I still didn't even finish it.
I was just wondering, like, if anything really like caught on to you, and you were just like, actually, I need to dive deeper into this entire world.
No.
I wouldn't even take the title in account for the entire book because they didn't even mention being on opposites. Like, it didn't feel like an opposites attract type of thing.
Yeah.
It was more like we're similar in the same way, but we can't like that about each other.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like the way that the title might suggest that it could be. You said 2.8 or 2.7.
2.7.
Alright, and
You said 2.5.
I did say 2.5.
I want to take mine back and say 2.5.
Okay, 2.5
I thought I was
it is.
nice.
Worthy opponent, like Katie Robert, 249 pages. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for sticking around. I know it's kind of a long review and short. Your YouTube channel is popping off, right? It's Tiara Voorhees. It is. We're not acknowledging the fact that she just shook her head. A hallucinogen.
TikTok, sure. Spicy tea? If you want to read it, read it. If you don't want to read it,
I will send you my copy if you want to read it.
for free.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Like actually raw without actually going raw.
How are you gonna edit this? Okay, we can talk about that.
Okie dokie.
Oops.
You're good.
Gets on TikTok. What does a crocodile have to do with him?
The crocodile is why Hook doesn't have a hand. Original Hook doesn't have a hand.
Well, then that seems...
Which is weird because it's got a hook on there.
That's a hook?
Yeah, that's a hook.
Oh, I thought this was like a chalice or something that was like spilling. I didn't see
It is just a weird looking chalice.
Are you serious?
Yeah. But it's never mentioned that he has a hook. So, we were just talking about interaction with Tinkerbell. Not Tinkerbell, Tink and Hook.
It's just funny you're adding it.
I can't stop.
It's a short name on here and you're like,
I know.
say her full government.
No. Nope, that's even like... What the fuck was
What the
that?
hell? That was like a bag or something. That couldn't have been a bird moving that slow.
I know. So, after all of that, we reviewed the book.